Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes, with another on-the-go review for Kamen Rider Geats, episode 13. Just got done watching it, actually. If you don't know, on the Hooked Pensions, oh my god. On the Pensions and Homies podcast recently, we had our brother Sentai 5 on talk about Geats and also JDF. And we talked about how we're hoping that Geats can keep up the momentum from this first arc, right? Because clearly with this episode and next week's episode, we're fully driving into what will be our second arc going forward. Clearly introducing Kamen Rider Glare and a few other like rules and things about the DGB. But this week's episode was really, really good. I like the setup for it, that the mission for this round of it was a musical chairs themed thing, where this like random little girl with a red hat, I don't even know if she's even real or not, came through, and if she made eye contact with each rider, she stole their desire driver. We also find out there's another rule that the ID cores are specific to each person that owns them, right? But that anybody can use anybody's desire driver. It doesn't matter. If you're hearing some noise, I actually have my dog with me, my Ned, my beagle. You might see him come into frame a couple times. I'm away from picking him up from my in-laws. But anyway, so really interesting stuff lore-wise there. So we start up the game, and everybody is basically powerless going in trying to find their drivers. And one of them has already been taken from Ace and used by one of the Jamato to become, you know, the Jamato riders. Just to like. And so there's only really 4 left. And so they go after him. We get Neon and Keiwa working together to get their drivers back. And we also get a nice little side note right before everything starts up. Everybody gets their drivers taken. That Keiwa is starting to work at the same Tanuki Soba like restaurant he would go to before. So I like that as like a little evolution for him, like a nice little for right now job to last him until he finds whatever his real actual job's going to be. So yeah, nice little backgroundy stuff kind of going on with him. Ace is still wondering why the Game Master wants so bad to get him out of the DGP. We get a bit more on that he feels like Ace has broken the rules too many times, is getting way too close to the secrets behind the DGP, and that's why. He also has a conversation with the weird, like, you know, Jamato botanist grower guy, who essentially just tells him to fuck off, and that he doesn't agree with them wanting to get rid of Geats, and that the reason that the Jamato have, because he wants to know why they can use a driver, he says, oh, they evolved to, and he doesn't believe them. And he says the reason they've evolved is they were getting too angry, getting beaten so much by other riders. So I like that a lot. I like that there's other person at play as far as the villains are concerned. So yeah, so like I said, Keiwa and Neon get their drivers back pretty early on, along with Ninja and Beats, of course. And Michinaka's having some trouble, as is Punk Jack and Ace. Punk Jack, of course, Ace knows for sure is trying to work with the DGP staff to take him out. And he keeps trying to tell him, you're gonna lose this time, Geats. There's no way you're gonna win. And he's just basically like, yeah, whatever, you ain't shit. Which I kind of like. I like that Ace doesn't let really anybody get under his skin. I'm sure we'll eventually see that, but I like that for right now. He doesn't really let anybody get to him and really bother him or upset him that way. So yeah, they kind of here and there sort of work-ish together. And what ends up happening is Ace gets a driver back. And, or actually, I'm sorry, no, he asks Keiwa for his. He says, hey, can I use your driver for 5 minutes, and I'm going to get that driver back from there, the Jamato, and I'll give this right back to you along with all my buckles. And he's like, okay. So he goes out there to fight, and he gets the twin command buckle, which I actually have on pre-order. It should be here pretty soon, actually, this week or next week, something like that. Do a Toku Toy Group for that, for sure. So we get to see the first time of Ace, Kamen Rider Geats, you know, jet cannon form, or cannon jet form, whatever it's called, and it looks pretty cool. The entry form version of it, like the smaller, like weaker version, I guess, with just the sword and a little splash of armor along with the goggles, is really cool looking. I really like it. It looks really nice, and I like there's just one side of it, you know. And then when he gets both, that's when he gets like the straight Gundam armor, is what I call it. And it does, honestly, take a look at it. If you've not seen the episode, watch it, take a look at it, tell me it doesn't look like it's Gundam armor. But anyway, so he uses the one side of it, and he sees, there's my dog right there. There's Ned. I can actually turn around a bit. Neddy, can we say hi to the camera? Hi, doggy. So he used the one side of it for a while, and he sees that there's another buckle attached to the raging sword, but he can't get it off. Well, how that works, and we've known from like the video showing off how the gimmick works, is you have to keep using the sword a bunch, and that charges the sword and the buckle. Bless you. And then you can unlock the buckle. You pull the little latch down to unattach it and slot it into the driver, and then you get the twin command form, right? So he finally figures that out. He's in a really kick-ass fight, though, with the sword before that. Really, really nice sword work and really good choreography. The fight choreography in this show, like I've said before many times, and I'll keep saying it, I'll praise it until I am blue in the face, is absolutely astronomically out of this world. Oh my goodness. So a really good fight scene there, really good back and forth there, and then he ends up, you know, powering it up enough to use the other side of it. So now we get the full armored Gundam form. And it's really cool. It's really, really cool. So there's the cannon jet side of it, which is what he's using, and then there's the jet cannon, which lets the person fly, which is what Tycoon will be using next week. So yeah, and I think, I want to say that it was, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering right, I'm pretty sure it was Keiwa's sister that ended up seeing the little girl and telling Neon about it on her live stream or whatever. Neon also, earlier in the episode, I forgot to mention this, tries to confront her dad and thinks that he might know something about the DGP. Like, you know what it is, why would you let me compete, blah, 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 compete, blah, blah, blah. And he's being really, 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 really glib about it and won't say anything about it. And I kind of like this. I'm guessing he'll eventually be a writer. I don't know if he'll be Glare necessarily, but I'm sure that he'll eventually be some kind of a force to reckon with of some sort. A reason as to why she's in it. I don't know how he knows about it. But I do like this idea that in-universe there are people that know about the DGP that don't compete, but use it as a means to get something that they want, or just in general are aware of it and maybe can manipulate it for their own ends. Shows that there's other threats out there beside to the DGP other than just Ace. So yeah, so he ends up defeating the Jamato rider and gets the driver back, goes to give his driver back to Keiwa, because it was Keiwa's, and he goes to grab his, which is on the ground, and Punk Jack actually before this approached Michinoku and said, hey, you can get your driver back. He was like, really? How? And so he takes it from Ace before Ace can get it. So he puts it on, so he has his driver along with Keiwa and Neon, meaning Punk Jack and Ace don't. And part of the musical chairs challenge is that you have to have a driver to be able to continue forward in the match. So seemingly right now, if they're defeated, they're done and they're gone. So yeah, we actually see the little girl with the rat hat on walk off into the like forest grove area and give the other two drivers, which were Punk Jacks and I guess Michinagas technically, two other Jamatos and make more Jamato riders. So now they don't, unless they can take them off of them, they don't have a way to get the drivers back. So yeah, really interesting setup, and I think we made mention of this in the podcast. We were just talking about in the podcast how it will be quite the upset that I think we're going to get is Ace losing. The look on his face and what it will be like if he loses and is out of the game, and that it might be Keiwa who ends up winning, getting his wish fulfilled, and that's what brings Ace back. Or they fuck with the wish and make it so he doesn't specifically, but everyone else does. Because his wish was about anybody defeated by a Jamato. I wonder if they'll have this Kamen Rider Glare, who seems to be this other admin that was watching the Game Master screw with things or whatever, right? And sent out the twin command buckle to him, and to the point where Jirori literally calls him and is like, what are you doing? He's like, you're interfering with the game as well. Like, that doesn't look very good on us. And he's like, you stay in your lane. So it's not really clear what, with Glare, like, what his, like, the hierarchy is, if like Glare is higher up than Jirori, than the Game Master, or if the Game Master is down here and there's other higher up people above him. But very interesting. So next week we see the debut of Kamen Rider Glare. It's some kind of a card system of some sort. We see the ID core, and it looks like a little like glass, plasticky little card that he slots in. That is like his ID cores essentially. And he also has like two like henchman riders he can kind of spawn as well, which people think might be the what's it called? Two little bumbling bodyguard people that are always trying to keep Neon from leaving. Which would be great. I want Tom Constantine to henshin so bad. Shout out to my boy Tom Constantine. And we also see Tycoon in twin command form of it'd be jet cannon instead of cannon jet. Yeah, and flying around and blasting with it. A few of the other riders fighting, and we also see Ace, what looks like getting his ass kicked by Glare, and looking like he's about to be taken out. So I do wonder if that's what's going to happen, if right now he's going to get taken out of the game, which will be quite the upset for him and just in general be pretty shocking. And if that rumored silver Fox Rider that comes in later, that there's a grain of salt about a silver Fox Rider, might just be him. Either he'll stay that way, or it'll just be a thing for then, and then eventually it'll just go back to being his normal ID Corps, and he'll be actually fighting as normal Geats later. But yeah, it'd be really cool to take him out of it and see how the show goes forward without the main rider there as far as Ace is concerned. And that whole mystery around him, giving us more time to fill in the details about Punk Jack, the admins, Glare, and a few other things. But overall, this episode was really good. It's really kept up the momentum from last week, and with the return of Kawa and all of that. And really had some great character dialogue pieces, some really nice little moments and scenes between the characters. Really good fight choreography. It was really cool seeing the twin command buckle and how it works, at least for Geats. We'll see how it looks with Tycoon next week. It would be assumed, though, that maybe, I guess maybe they aren't the only two that can use it. Maybe we'll eventually see some of the other riders get to use it. But yeah, so I'm really excited for next week. And overall, this was a really, really great episode. Score-wise, I'd probably give it a strong 8.5 out of 10, just because it's definitely the setup episode for the little two-part thing we're doing here, which I kind of like, that we're getting back into like the two-part arc type story thing with Rider episodes that they did a while back, and they kind of stopped a little bit. Ray Vice kind of did that and then kind of fell off of it and sort of like half-assed did it. But not every Rider season consecutively has kept doing it. You're okay, Nanny. But anyway, yeah, so probably a strong 8.5 out of 10. But let me know in the comments, what did you guys think of Kamen Rider Geats episode 13? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you in the middle? What do you guys think of the twin command buckle? I'll definitely have a Toku Toy view of that up pretty soon. As soon as I receive it, clearly, I'll unbox it and try it out on the driver and all that. But yeah, keep me updated. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the show so far. If you guys have comments, concerns, topics you want me to talk about, things you want me to talk about, shh, Ned, hush. Also, definitely subscribe to us on the podcast YouTube channel, Henshins and Homies. All of our episodes get archived there. Hush, dog. And you guys can watch those there or watch us live, usually Thursday or Friday, somewhere around 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me put the window down for my dog. There, right there. There. But yeah, definitely let us know if you guys got topics, people you'd like to be on the show. If you want to be on the show with us, that's totally fine. Let us know. But as always, stay hooked on heroes. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.